should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Let me say hey to y'all. Hey Dainty Dane, Gray Moon, Bad Girl, Edith, Toxic, Mallory, Loudmouth, Karen, Toxic Orchid, good to see you. Blue Giraffes, Jenny Jen, Kimberly, Anne, good to see you. Mallory, Jenny Jen, Bad Girl, Ali X. I know I said you toxic. Angela Shaboogies is in the house. Karen Della Rocca, good to see you. Loudmouth, I think I said you. And that's as far up as it goes for me. Edith just gifted a Speculation Station membership, and that went to Witchy Woman. Witchy Woman, if you are here and you are aware that you were gifted a membership by Edith, please tell her thank you, and I'll grab the crazy train to come pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Edith. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Jennifer Collins, it's good to see you. Sylvia, Matilda, Ever Love Me, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so there's some things that came out on Richard Allen's case, and we have some more information on the sheriff who shot the judge. So first, we're going to look at this new video. It's not really new. It's kind of old, but I haven't watched all of it. I haven't listened to it. As far as I know, I guess it got released afterwards. Now, I have some questions because I thought that this video was like AI enhanced, right? But it doesn't appear to be AI enhanced in this. Like, from what I was told and what I understood, they had to enhance it with AI so that they could even see Bridge Guy because he was so far away. It doesn't appear that way to me. This is going to be from Chasing True Crime. I just pinned her link at the top of the chat box, and I will have to, hopefully I won't forget to put it in the description box. She has it, and so I'm going to borrow it from her. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so. And let's see what we got.
See, this is the path that we are on.
Okay, so I'm going to play it fully after we look at it a couple of times, but I don't know if you saw, but just there, Bridge Guy seemed very, very close. And I'm wondering, why was it said in court then that we had to enhance it with AI? Because he was very close to the girls in that video.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.
He's very close in that picture. I just turned it up. How did we have to use AI to enhance that? Cara, I think she said, okay, I'll go ahead and talk about this real quick. Cara said, let's remember to be respectful of everyone's opinions. If you are extremely passionate about your opinion, please keep in mind that someone else might be equally as passionate on the opposition. I really appreciate that. I did want to talk about something else today because yesterday chat got out of hand. I don't know what's going on. I do know there is a fight between creators and X-mods going on. I don't know. People are coming in my chat trying to cause issues, but just please be aware of that. There's also things going around where people are scamming people and asking for money. So please be aware of that. Don't give money to somebody who messages you and asks for it. If you want to support a creator, I would, suggest you just do it through the safeguards of YouTube. And other than that, just be very careful. But if my mods are very close to me, we talk a lot. They're like family. If they time you out, there is a reason. I might not know the reason at the time, but I do trust my mods and everything they do. And just be aware if somebody's coming in and just trying to be overly combative. They're doing it to get a reaction. You can block people individually. And I'll leave that at that. Yes, no drama allowed. This is not a drama channel. We discuss true crime, and that's it. Now I'm going to play this video one more time since I've paused it again, and we'll watch it all the way through without pausing it after this.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Hey, Regina.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Okay. So I think it very clearly does say guys down the hill. He could have walked up on the girls, in my opinion, flashed a gun and said guys down the hill. Like if he opened his jacket and he had a gun in a holster, or, even had it in his hand and said guys, and then showed the firearm and said down the hill. I think that's very plausible. We're going to do some voice analysis real quick. For that, I'm going to jump over to first Plunder real quick. Plunder has this video, so let me grab her link and pin it real quick. That, again, was Chasing Truth. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so. Let me grab Plunder's link, and I will pin that, because we're going to borrow this video. I don't know where she got this, but she's the only one I've ever seen have this, and I had never seen this before, so this might be new to some of you guys too, and it's really interesting. So this is going to be Richard Allen's voice. Let's listen to him. Keep in mind the voice you just heard say guys down the hill. Again, this is Plunder.
September 23rd, 2018.
I just pinned her at the top of the comment section, so definitely check out Plunder if you have not. This is her video. It's not very long.
Allen's
either.
voice can be heard making a rare appearance in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, riding the sky lift with his wife.
Down we going down.
Candle.
Shut up. It's not going to snap. I'm gyrating, but it's not going to snap. Oh my God.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
What? Oh my God. Lonely wheelchair. Wasn't that interesting? Why are we stopping? Why are we stopping? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh my God. It's way up the hill. I don't know about this. Oh.
Watching the cables now.
Guys, down the hill.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
Guys, down the hill.
So that's his voice. Let's go back to the playlist. I do have an interview with Ron Logan that was dropped in the Discord this morning. And so we'll listen to that real quick. It did sound a lot alike, though. It really did.
September 23rd, 2018.
I mean, and I'm trying to be fair and look at it from all perspectives. I think that was very similar. Okay, we'll go to this one real quick. I'm not sure if this has his voice or not, but we'll go to this.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Kayla Sullivan. Thanks for joining us.
Indiana State Police have just opened a tip line for information about the killings of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. That telephone number will...
So this is this video is titled Delphi Property Owner Speaks to News 18 After Bodies Found in Backyard. This is going to be from Ron Logan. Hey, Hio. Shaboogie said, hold on. Y'all, if you put that voice next to the recording, it doesn't sound similar. It doesn't. I'd have to splice it, you said? I need to splice the voice on the video with Richard Allen talking. I'll have to work on doing that after the live. Maybe I can try to do that. That would be interesting. That's a good idea.
We'll get it up on a full screen a little bit later in the newscast, but that telephone number is 844-459-5789. And we'll be repeating that again a little bit later in the newscast. In the meantime, though, the town of Delphi still in shock. Just 2 days after the discovery of those two teenage girls' bodies on Tuesday.
Today, police have confirmed to News 18 that they've questioned people over the double homicide of 14-year-old Libby German and 13-year-old Abby Williams. But they're keeping tight-lipped about any suspects or persons of interest. However, they are still looking for the man seen in these pictures sent out last night. They say he was on the trail around the same time the girls were last seen, and they're hoping he may have seen something, if you know who.
Okay, so obviously this is from right when it happened, and it seems like, I don't know, it seemed to me that it took them, hold on a minute, I'm walking in here, my rock tumbler's on. It seemed to me that they didn't know that it took them a while to find Bridge Guy. I could be, I mean, obviously I'm wrong, but I thought it took them a minute to figure out that Bridge Guy was there. I thought it was like a week or two before they went through the cell phones and figured it out, and then that they had to use AI. I mean, I guess I'm wrong. I must have got that confused with another case. I still don't understand what we need AI for, especially if this photo was just released relatively close to when the girls were found, maybe to clear up the face a little bit. But what was the whole point of the AI? They mentioned that in court.
Who he is, you're asked to call the local authorities.
And in the meantime, members of the Delphi community today are beginning to organize fundraisers to benefit the victims' families. News 18's Cameron Harden has been in Delphi all day long, speaking with residents. He joins us now with the latest. Cameron?
It's no surprise the town of Delphi is taking this very hard. With less than 3,000 people in the entire...
Content, good to see you. Content said, I don't think anything could convince you guys that he's guilty. You know, like I said, you know, we're open here and allow all thoughts, opinions, and speculations. There's a lot of questions I have about Richard Allen being guilty, but like, I don't know, hearing it so clearly there and then listening to Richard Allen's voice when he was going down that thing with his wife, it sounded really similar to me. Like, I do have to be fair. That's the whole point, is to be fair across the board. We're going to hear Ron Logan now, but it did sound very similar. I think that there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of things that went on that aren't necessarily like Richard Allen specifically. Like, there was a lot going on with the jail and the prison and the law enforcement there that make me question a lot of things, if that makes any sense.
Entire community. It's a typical kind of place where everybody knows everybody. But now the town is trying to make the best of it by coming together.
Who'd ever think someone would be murdered in your backyard?
Ron Logan has lived on this property in Delphi for more than 50 years.
I don't even recall any homicides in Delphi. I just don't recall any, but a double homicide. This is a first, as far as I know. I don't. But it's just crazy.
He never would have.
Now, this is confusing me more. He doesn't sound like Ron Logan to me, Bridge Guy, but Ron Logan sounds like Richard Allen to me. I guess it's maybe the accent or something. Matilda said the fact that it's AI altered does bother me. It's altered to sound like Richard Allen, maybe. I mean, I would hope not. I would think they didn't do that. They said they had to enhance it with AI because in the original video, from what I remember off the top of my head, Bridge Guy was so far away from the girls when the video was taken that you couldn't even see him. They had to zoom way in from what I was told because he was so far away when the video was taken. But then we see the video from Chasing True Crime and he was extremely close.
Would have imagined his property would turn into a murder scene.
It's just terrible. I just can't imagine that. My son, when he was a kid, he and his buddies played in here for all the time. I mean, he was born here. That was a different time, though.
Logan and the rest of the community are deeply hurt for the families involved, and that's exactly why the town is coming together.
We're a small community, and when something like this happens, you feel like you need to do something. So with the people being friends and neighbors, we wanted to raise some money for whatever their needs would be.
Tracy Bradshaw is the owner of the Pizza King.
Okay, so I'm going to back it up to Ron Logan speaking. We're going to listen to that, and then I'm going to jump back over to Chasing Truth's video, and we're going to compare.
I don't even recall any homicides in Delphi. I just don't recall any, but a double homicide. This is a first, as far as I know. I don't. But it's just crazy.
He never would have imagined.
Hold on. Let me do that one more time.
No, I don't. But it's just crazy.
He never.
Okay. I guess that's as good as I can get it. Okay. So we just heard him. Let's check the other video real quick. Let's see. Why you gotta be like this? Did I not add hers? Lordy have mercy. Remember his voice.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
A double homicide. This is a first, as far as I know.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
I don't. But it's just crazy.
He never.
It didn't sound the same to me. And it's hard for me to do that because the Richard Allen one, the other one is a short, but I'm
would have imagined his property.
I'm going to try to go back and grab Plunder's Richard Allen talking. Actually, no, I have another one that my lovely mods in Discord sent me. We'll pull that one up and do what we just did with the Ron Logan. Ever Love Me said the blood draining thing seems like a lot for one person, especially a short little guy. It does. I can agree with that. Content said the bridge guy is younger than the neighbor. You can tell in their tenure or tone. Down the hill sounds younger, less accent. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's grab this. I do have Richard Allen playing pool. I don't know if we'll hear his voice. This is from, let me see. I need to grab their link and drop it because this is a longer video. Fire and Ice. Hold on, let me grab their link. I'm going to try to locate Richard Allen talking. And we're going to try to do the same thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to play this while I grab his link and we can listen. I just pinned their link. You think that it sounds like all of them sound like Doug Carter? This one's going to be harder to compare, so I'm going to try to grab Plunders real quick. We'll come right back to that and see what that is. I don't mean to keep jumping all over the place, but I really want to get a good comparison. Hopefully it'll let me play both
September 23rd, 2018. Richard Allen's voice can be heard making a rare appearance in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, riding the skylift with his wife.
What? What did you do that? Okay, try this again.
September 23rd, 2018. Richard Allen's voice can be heard making a rare appearance in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, riding the skylift with his wife.
Down we going down. Shut up.
Okay, we're going to try it right there. I'm going to go right back to the other thing. Okay, yeah, that one's staying there, so I'm going to pull hers up again.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Okay.
Shut up. Going down. Shut up.
It sounded really similar, y'all. It sounds so similar, though.
We're going down. Shut up.
It really does. Oh my God. It really sounds, very similar. Uh-oh.
Skylift with his wife.
Down we going down. Shut up.
Y'all. That sounds really similar. I don't want to keep playing. Oh my gosh. Y'all. That sounds so close. Hunter's Moon said it's him, and I've never said that before. Y'all, let me tell you what, I've been on this Richard Allen is innocent, like screaming from the rooftops type of thing for a long time. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. Like that sounded very similar. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump. I was really wanting to hear that. I should have kept it at the bar. So we're gonna watch this from Fire and Ice. Hopefully they won't get upset. I dropped their link. I will remember to put it in the description box below, and we're gonna watch the way he walks, the way he shoots pool. I don't know if we'll be able to hear him very well because it is a bar and the bar scene, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, I think this is Richard Allen right here with the pool stick. We don't know that. I mean, we assume that bridge guy is the killer. I don't know why else he would be telling them to go down the hill. But to be fair, we don't know for sure. Play at 1 minute and 10 seconds. We're at 109 right now. So here we go. I'll back it up a little bit. Because he did just walk and sit down. I thought. Oh, he walks around. Okay, watch him walk. I was looking at the wrong one. Right, he's got to walk. They say watch him walk. Oh my God! Did y'all see that limp? I didn't mean to scream, yell at your ears out. Sorry if you were wearing headphones. He's limping. But I mean, I showed y'all in my video where I walk across a bridge that's like that, not that high. Obviously, I would have a heart attack, and it's hard to walk on those things. So bridge guy having a little bit of a limp, I mean, could be normal. Logan has a limp too. Yes, he does. 1 hour and 10 minutes. I don't know if this is an hour long. It's not. It's only 28 minutes. It's only 28 minutes. Let me see if it could. Oh my gosh. I'm going to jump to right here because I think he's walking around the pool table right here. He's right here in this black shirt. What did Moore say? Let's see. I don't know if the video was played in court or not, Dainty. Moore said, size has nothing to do with it because Richard Ramirez proved you don't have to be a big guy. That's true. Like, honestly, Logan, Richard Allen, and a whole bunch of older men sound a lot alike and have the accent. But when I hear it right after the video, I don't put voice to Richard Allen. Okay. We're going to, Toxic sent me them comparing it to the other guy, Brad Holder. Brad Holder looked sus too, and he's got a lot of Facebook posts that are real questionable. It's, sweetheart, there's not, it doesn't go to an hour and 10 minutes. There's a minute and 10 seconds, but it only goes, right here is 28 minutes. That's as far as it goes. Like, that's at 27. Here, I'm going to play like the end part so we can see him walking around the table, I guess. It's got to be a different video, I'm thinking. That's not him. It might not be him. I think we just see him talking in this one. If you have the other one, send it to me and I'll play it. That you want me to play at a minute and 10 seconds. An hour and 10 minutes, sorry. I'm going to play that limp again. And we'll jump to this other video because I don't want this person to strike me. So watch him from right here. He's going to walk over here and he has a limp, like a real bad limp. He just looked at that girl's butt when that girl hugged that other guy. Look at that. That's interesting to me. Toxic, I do still also believe that even if he did do it, he didn't get a fair trial. I absolutely believe that. Okay, I'm going to jump to this video that Toxic just sent me comparing Brad Holder's voice. Oh, stay like that so I can scroll through my daggum playlist. Did it not add it? Lordy have mercy. Oh, I got to refresh it. Hold on. Hold on. Just a minute. Okay. This is from Michelle Walks.
I'm going to do a little old voice comparison video for you. Now, recently on Michelle After Dark, I compared the voice.
Okay, this is from Michelle After Dark. I'm going to grab her link and drop it. Actually, I can probably just share this video. Let me access. All right, I'm going to drop her link in chat and pin it to the top. This is from Michelle Walks.
Of Bridge Guy. So we're in the Delphi case, right? Bridge Guy with Richard Allen. And then Bridge Guy with Brad Holder. Personally, I don't think Brad Holder sounds very much like Bridge Guy. But I've got another 2 voice comparisons to add to this. So we're going to look at Ron Logan's voice, because some people still think Ron Logan is a suspect. He's deceased now, but some people still think he's a suspect. And also Patrick Westphal. Okay. We're going to do Richard.
Patrick Westphal people have related him to the Flora fires. I think we talked about that briefly when we discussed the Flora fires.
Brad, Ron, Patrick. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of just run them a few times, like right after each other, so that you can get a comparison of all the 4 voices, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments which you think sounds most like Bridge Guy. We've got to remember, we don't know for sure that Bridge Guy actually said guys down the hill. We assume that it's Bridge Guy's voice, but we don't know. There might be somebody else there. I'm just saying Bridge Guy for the ease, I guess, but it could be a Bridge Guy.
See, this picture was taken and they say Bridge Guy is like way back there, and that's like to the point you couldn't even see him, and that's where they had to use AI from what I heard. Hey, Tish.
Rather than the Bridge Guy. So the voice comparison is with the audio that Libby took on her phone very bravely shortly before her and Abby were abducted and murdered. All right, let me know in the comments what you think of this voice comparison video. Which one is the closest to the audio from Libby's phone? Enjoy.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
I don't think it should have been used in court. I'm going to play this and be quiet now so we can listen. Hopefully she don't get upset. All right, I'm just going to be quiet so we can listen to everything.
From Libby's phone. Enjoy.
There's the wheelchair coming up. 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 There's the wheelchair coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped.
I think he sounded kind of like Brad. I think he did sound kind of like Brad. Ron Logan's voice is too high. And I've always thought Ron Logan was a valuable suspect. The FBI looked at Ron Logan, but his voice is too high.
Up to ask for information. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information.
There ain't nothing wrong with Ossetru. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Ossetru. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
Now, his speech pattern, the way he said slithered its way out of Eastern Europe and how he was kind of high and then got lower is comparable to me how it starts off high with down the and then hill gets lower. And the way he's talking about, like, when he's talking in this podcast, he starts off high and then gets lower as he gets towards the end of his sentence, like Bridge Guy does with when he starts high in his tone with down and then the hill gets lower. I'm going to play that. I'm reversing that again. Hold on. Because I've never even thought Patrick Westphal had anything to do with it. As far as being Bridge Guy anyway.
Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
The way his sentence, he starts his sentences off in a higher tone and then gets lower. Is the same way to me. They start off down at a higher tone and then the hill is lower. But it could just be me trying to listen too hard.
There ain't nothing wrong with Ossetru. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Ossetru. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity until it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
There's the wheelchair coming up. There's the wheelchair coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the wheelchair coming up.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
How about this hat? This hat trigger you?
There ain't nothing wrong with posture. All Europeans started off this way.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the wheelchair coming up.
You think I'm the murderer?
There's the wheelchair coming up.
You think I'm the murderer?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
How about this hat? This hat trigger you?
There's the wheelchair coming up.
They didn't convert to Christianity till
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
You think I'm the murderer?
slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
Because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the wheelchair coming up.
The neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
There ain't nothing wrong with posture. All Europeans started off this way.
There's the wheelchair.
So I see some of y'all said, yeah, I'm going to try to make a poll if it'll let me. Sometimes my computer will let me, sometimes it won't. I'll keep playing this while I try to do a poll real quick.
Coming up.
Most of all of them.
The neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
You think I'm the murderer?
Yes,
They didn't convert to Christianity until it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
Okay, I'm gonna play this video again. I'm gonna try to get a poll going, and I'm gonna back it up so we can listen to that again.
I remember him from the Inside Edition.
Not that video. The video that I just played is from Michelle After Dark.
Liberty German shot this chilling image of the killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail.
I hate the way it does that. And I pinned her link to the top of the discussion of the chat box there, so you guys have her link. Okay. Now let me go back. Also trying to access my live. It might echo for a minute, so if it does, I'm sorry. Hold on, I gotta mute it. There. Okay. Lordy, have mercy. Okay, you'll have to ignore the yes and no. I don't know how to take that off. Brad, well, I can't. I'll have to do a Q&A because I don't get the options I need. And I think it just asks you guys the question. Hold on a minute. Let me see. I don't know. We'll see how that works. I'm going to X out of that. Darlene said, I don't care what they say. They did not allow all of the facts. Too little or a timelines for all that was done and not one bit of DNA or blood where the young girl laid. Too many discrepancies. I agree with that. I think that he wasn't given a fair trial regardless. All right, I'm going to play the latter half of Michelle Walk's video comparing the
I'm going to do a little old voice comparison
Well, I grabbed
video
that
for
one
you.
from-
Now, recently on Michelle After Dark, I can.
Okay. We'll listen to it one more time.
There's the wheelchair coming up.
Okay, I guess I don't know how else to do it. Yeah, it's not I can't put all the options in either, but you guys can tell me, like a lot of you are saying I think it's Richard Allen. I think it's Richard Allen. That's the only way I know to do it right now because it won't let me. I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm sorry. I should have been better prepared or known these things. I'm going to have to figure it out. Gray Moon just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so very much for that. That was so very sweet of you. Those went to Ryan, Jollies and Gina B, Maui Bell, P. Massey, Nana Sue, Michelle J, Obsidian, Lacey Lou, and Laura Lee. Thank you so much for that, Gray Moon. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Checking out them bushes. If you were gifted or you are aware you were gifted by Gray Moon, please tell them thank you, and I'll grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Gray Moon. That was so very sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Okay, while I grab that link and get it saved to this playlist, we'll listen to this one more time. You can just say, I think it's Richard, Brad, Patrick, or Ron in chat, and I'll try to pay attention and highlight them.
There's the word show coming up. 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 There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? How about this hat? This hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? How about this hat? This hat trigger you?
I think it sounds more like Brad, Richard Allen, or Patrick. Like, I don't think it at all sounds like Brad Logan, and he was one of my main people. Ron Logan, I meant, especially after the Ricky coming out and the things we talked about, like with that. Raspy like Brad, shut your boogies. Richard Allen isn't raspy at all. Right.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? How about this hat? This hat trigger you?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
I don't think it's Ron Logan at all. Abella said it's Richard Allen's cadence and voice. I think that, unfortunately, I'm starting to wonder that myself. And let me tell you what, I was all about Richard Allen is innocent. Shaboogies, I have that saved to the playlist, so we'll play that next. Hopefully they won't get mad. Toxic said it's Richard Allen's cadence. Right. What comment? Angela Ballerina. It's about the cadence for me for Richard Allen and Bridge Guy. Right.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
There ain't nothing wrong with posture. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't.
Oh, Brad Holder, he's a weird one. And the thing about Brad Holder is his son dated Abby Libby. His son dated Abby. And there's pictures of them together. And he had pictures of like sticks and formations of ruins. And he had a picture like of Odin hanging from a tree. And it was like in the same way that one of the girls were found. Like there's a lot connecting Brad Holder to the case. And it sounds like him. And the whole hats thing, it's because he was connected in a lot of ways. And he's like, oh, why do you think? He's being a smart ass with the hats comment. It is weird. He's just not the brightest bulb in the box, I would say. Brad is the one that was comparing the hats. Let me see. Not this. Hold on.
There's the word show coming up. There's the
It,
word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because
this is Brad. And there's a lot. His son dated Abby, and there's a lot connecting him to the case.
I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? This hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? This hat trigger you? You think I'm the murderer because
Watch how he raises his eyebrows and smiles when he says, "This hat trigger you?" It's like he gets. I know he's being an asshole and being sarcastic and like just trying to be an ass, but it's like he gets enjoyment out of saying that. Does this trigger you? Like there's a look in his eye when he says that, and it's like devious to me. If you watch his face, like his eyes and his face when he puts on this other hat, watch him.
because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? This hat trigger you?
And I didn't get home till approximately.
The way he raised his eyebrows and like stared into your soul, I don't know. It may be uncomfortable. You don't think Brad's the guy? You think Brad is the guy? He's trolling. Yeah, he's trying to troll, but he doesn't do a good job of it. I thought Ron Logan did this, and I'm like excluding him now.
Approximately 6:30 in the evening.
Hey, Orange.
The neighbor stopped to ask for information. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for information.
There ain't nothing wrong with Pateron. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Pateron. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
I don't know what to think about that. So there's a picture on Facebook of Abby and that little boy, his son. I'll look in my Discord and see if I can find it, but I do need to I need to show y'all this other picture too. That's gonna make you have some more questions. So I'm gonna grab that real quick and we'll look at that, and then we'll look at the criminality thing.
There ain't nothing wrong with Pateron. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity till it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the word show coming up.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
Well, how about this hat? This hat trigger you?
There ain't nothing wrong with Pateron. All Europeans started off this way.
There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer?
There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
How about this hat? This hat trigger you?
There's the word show coming up.
They didn't convert to Christianity till.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
You think I'm the murderer?
Slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
There's the word show coming up.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening.
There's the word show coming up.
Because I'm wearing this hat, right?
There's the word show coming up.
The neighbor stopped to ask for information.
There ain't nothing wrong with Pateron. All Europeans started off.
So now I'm not even thinking as much Patrick Westfall either. I'm thinking more of Brad Holder or Richard Allen. Orange Rose said, I feel like they did us dirty with the video. I think there's more video that they are not sharing. I have an opinion. I have no opinion one way or the other who did or didn't do the crime, by the way. Right. I think there's more to it too. So listen without looking at the videos or knowing, and what for sure. And for sure, the older guy sounds too old. Okay. Hey, Katie. Okay. Hey. The second video really cleared it up for you. Girl next door, who do you think did it? Yeah, trolling 2 little dead girls. That's sick. Deceased girls. Okay. I did have another picture to show you guys. I'll play the rest of this and we'll look at it.
There's a word truck coming up.
Most of all of them.
The neighbor stopped, asked for information.
You think I'm the murderer?
They didn't convert to Christianity till slaughtered.
Yeah, I'm not thinking as much Patrick Westfall right now either. All right, so this, I'm gonna work on trying to find the picture of Abby and that boy Brad Holder's son for you while we listen to a few other videos when I get a chance to in a minute. But let me show y'all this that got dropped in my Discord this morning. So this is Charles Eldridge. Charles Eldridge was arrested in Union City, Indiana in 2019 after he arranged to meet somebody he thought was a teenage girl for sex. Charles Eldridge left bore a striking resemblance to a preliminary police sketch of the Delphi subject to the right. The sketch was later updated to show a clean-shaven man. He was charged with child molestation and was linked to the Delphi murders because of his strong resemblance to the man in the Delphi video and a preliminary police sketch investigators had circulated of the suspect. What do y'all think about that? Because I'm like, whoa. Like, it's the nose and the eyes for me. This right here. But, well, I was going to say, but there's hair on the side and back of this guy. And there doesn't appear to be none on the side. But I guess he shaved it. Looks like the Goonies guy. Yeah, there is. They did have a sketch of an older man and a younger man, which would make you think, again, Brad Holder. Yeah. He's too fat to be bridge guy, you said? It was said in the article police cleared him, but still, still interesting. All right, now I'm going to pull up what Boogies wanted me to play real quick from Criminality. I'm going to go back to YouTube. Hold on, I got to pull it up on my end. Baby. Okay. That was Michelle After Dark. I am going to try to share Criminality. If not, if I can't, I should be able to grab her link. If I can't, you'll obviously know that it is her. Let me make this big. Share, copy link. Sorry, it takes me a minute to grab the links and then like jump back into the live because I have to do it a weird way. That's probably why I can't do polls and things the correct way because for some reason my YouTube does not like to work with me. It makes me do things in a weird way. Okay, the video I'm about to play is from Criminality and I just dropped her link and replaced the pinned message. So she said to play it at 1 hour and 10 minutes. We're at 1 hour and 9 minutes and 39 seconds. Okay.
Then maybe that is
Hold on.
where it got all weird. Like maybe on the screen that was supposedly like 10 foot by 10 foot or whatever.
Oh, that's what he said the other day. Like when we were talking about the difference, just my opinion on the different pictures was that they're not saving the files as like the right size. DB, you'll say it smarter than me.
Yeah, the right encoding.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so I was right. So my joke was right.
Perhaps.
Like he made it bigger and it fucked it up. Because I was just, I mean, people on Twitter and here and everywhere else argue about whether this came from the phone or not, if it's the original. I don't much care. But like again, I'll repeat myself that once, if that happens, whenever Gold decides to let Jody send it out, like, they're not going to give you the metadata. They're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a DB. This is a DB edit.
See, this is the path. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Guys.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a big enhancement.
Wow, that's great.
Do it. Go back to the beginning. You have the. Is this the whole 43 second?
Yeah.
But the guys and the down the hill sound different. Like,
Let me ask you, she's not doing this live right
Yes,
now,
you-
right? Because then I'm technically stream sniping. I saw that she was live, but I was assuming it was not this video. I don't want to be stream sniping this person. I'm going to play that part one more time.
okay.
The link if you want to come up. Okay, let me download.
You know, now that I think about it, like I'm sitting here thinking about it and talking to Bob because he was like, I believe that's the original one. He's like, but it seems clearer than it was. And then I made a joke about
His glasses.
no, but one
No.
could have joked about that. But I made a joke about like Nick's piece of shit $75,000 screen thing, whatever. But then as I was thinking about it, I thought, well, I wonder, like, if you did, so you know how, like, if you zoom in, shit starts to get pixelated. So
Yeah.
if he played it for the whole courtroom and made it 3,000 times bigger than the original size, then maybe that is where it got all weird. Like maybe on the screen that was supposedly like 10 foot by 10 foot or whatever.
Oh, that's what he said the other day. Like when we were talking about the difference, just my opinion on the different pictures was that they're not saving the files as like the right size. DB, you'll say it smarter than me.
Yeah, the right encoding.
I went back a little bit too
there you
far.
go.
Oh, so I was right? So my joke was right?
Perhaps.
Like he made it bigger and it fucked it up. Because people on Twitter and here and
I
everywhere else
know.
can argue about whether this came from
It's so sad.
from the phone or not, if it's the original.
Kimberly said their little girl voices are heartbreaking. Meanwhile, kids are playing out front here, giggling and all. Yeah, the kids are outside playing here and laughing, carrying on, and it is sad. Darlene says something really seems off. They say one person did this, yet not one speck of DNA. Just my opinion, but Richard Allen doesn't seem like a genius to me. How can he leave no DNA at all? It had to be more than one. Excuse me. I agree. It's weird that there's no DNA left. They did find 72 hairs at the crime scene, but they didn't have them tested by the time Richard Allen went to court. The judge denied so much. I mean, they're transferring him to the worst prison in the state when he hasn't even been to trial. They lost all of the initial interrogations. Like, there's a lot off about this to me, and that's why I've always said I don't think Richard Allen did this, because it seems like a frame job, like a frame up. But when we listen to those voice comparisons, I mean, I don't know. Like, it sounded like Brad Holder to me, but it more so sounded like Richard Allen.
I don't much care. But like, again, I'll repeat myself that once, if that happens, whenever Gold decides to let Jody send it out, like they're not going to give you the metadata. They're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a DB. This is a DB edit.
See, this is the path. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Guys.
Hi.
Oh yeah, that was a big enhancement.
Wow, that's great.
Do it. Go back to the beginning. You have the. Is this the whole 43 seconds?
Yeah,
But the guys and the down the hill sound different, like different.
they sure do, don't they?
Yeah, they
And
did.
so, just really quick, guys, this is Chinese bite dance software named CapCut. Quick edit, cutting it up, turning the volume all the way up, and then
They
re-enhancing
did
it
sound
like 3
different
times
though.
on the very, very low parts. This is not anything that's forensically,
I'm looking for that
it's
other picture, y'all.
It's a DB CapCut.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a cappy.
But I want to hear it again because it did sound like different. It sounded like different people. Like when I heard guys, I almost thought that was like you, like jumping in for whatever reason, because it was so different.
Okay, here we go.
I know.
Oh, and also the face here's. I mean, this is awful, but you can see that she's talking.
Oh, true. Mm-hmm.
That's the second. That's the second one though. The very beginning where there's a whisper. She's not in the frame, right?
No.
So we can't tell if it's her whispering. That one is the one that I was looking at, and I was like, yeah, you can see her mouth move. Yeah.
See, this is the path. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Guys.
Dude, that sounds like two entirely different people, and I can't believe you got it that clear.
That's crazy.
The guys, the guys sounds like it's normal, like it's happening in real time. The down the hill sounds like different. Like it's hard to explain. I've been trying to explain it about how it sounds like pasted into there, but the guys sounds like it belongs there, and then the down the hill sounds entirely different. Like it didn't belong here and was from a different person.
Right.
So the levels were so different in them that when I sampled the noise.
Now, to take y'all back to Ron Logan, I can go. The way I found it so far is through a video I made a while back. My channel was relatively new, so the editing is horrific. Like I had just started my channel, but I'm gonna take it 10 minutes in for you guys to get a better idea of who Brad Holder is. So I have to scroll way down. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, Bazard. And then Donna said, with everything that the judge denied of the defense, there was reasonable doubt to me. Right, I agree. Then they put him in prison instead of jail, solitary confinement, made him lose his mind, broke the poor guy. That's where I'm at with it. But and that's where I've been at with it. Like, if you are going to convict this man and the jury has been presented all of the evidence and you tell me he's guilty, then I'm going to say, fine, he's guilty. But the jury was not given all of the evidence. You can't make an informed decision without all of the evidence. But then listening to what we just listened to, I have a lot of questions. All right, we're going to take this 10 minutes in. Again, please work with me because my editing was horrible at this time. But you get the idea. Or reveal the crime. Whereas when it is only one person, it is much easier to contain that secret. That was Lieutenant Holman's theories that supported his belief that only one person committed the unalivings. I'm going to now at number 24. Since September 18th, 2023, the defense has consistently maintained that evidence supports that Elvis Fields was a participant in the unalivings, along with Brad Holder and others. Number 25, according to Lieutenant Holman's theory as testified to under oath on October 25th, 2024, if it is true that Elvis Fields and Brad Holder were both involved in the unalivings, then it is likely that one of them will have admitted to being involved in the unalivings or providing incriminating statements concerning being at the unalivings. Evidence exists that supports the defense. I'm trying to pause that multiple people were involved in the. Okay. So Elvis Fields and Brad Holder are connected because they're very close. They were friends on Facebook, even though they live over 100 miles apart. Either Elvis Fields follows Brad Holder, or Brad Holder follows Elvis Fields. They're like really good friends. They live really far apart. But Elvis Fields says some real interesting things. He asked the police that were sitting in his yard, if my spit is found on the body of one of the girls, but I can explain why it's there, would I still be in trouble? Why are you asking the police about your spit, your DNA being found on the body of one of the girls? Like, why would you ask that? And they say that he might be a little cognitively impaired, but that's a pretty specific question to ask. Hey, Tony. The unaliving, and also supports Lieutenant Holman's theory that if multiple people were involved in a crime, that at least one of them will reveal the crime to others. For example, blood spatter expert Pat Ceriso testified that it is possible that both girls were unalived at the same time, which would indicate that more than one person was involved in the crime. Additionally, Pat Ceriso also admitted that one explanation for Abby having no blood on her hands is that while her neck was being cut, someone else held her hands down. Number 29, law enforcement conducting the investigation into the murders have interviewed one suspect, Elvis Fields, who A, asked inculpating questions to a state trooper, and B, has connections to those who have incriminating evidence on their social media, as well as direct connection to one of the victims. 30. Therefore, evidence exists that multiple people were involved in the unalivings, rendering all purported alibis as suspect due to the ability for the ringleader to claim an alibi while others are doing his bidding in terms of abducting the victims. This is me speaking. Think of Charles Manson, how he was able to get them to all go to the hills of California and do those horrific things that they did. But he was the ringleader, but because he was not there physically, he thought he could escape justice for that. That's kind of like what they're talking about. Okay. Back to the document. 31. Brad Holder's first alibi, for example, would allow him to be in Delphi no later than 2:30. I'm backing it up. That's a picture of Brad Holder beside Bridge Guy. Justice for that. That's kind of like what they're talking about. Okay. Back to the document. 31. Brad. Okay. Now, the video we just saw where he's like, why do you think I'm Bridge Guy? Because I'm wearing this hat. Does this hat trigger you? It's because of this picture. This is a picture of him in suspenders, a blue shirt, and everything, and that hat that he's like wearing, and he's like, why do you think I'm Bridge Guy? Is it because of this hat? Whatever. And this is why. I mean, there's a very heavy comparison between Brad Holder and Bridge Guy in this picture. And there's more. Basically, I'm trying to get to the picture of his son with Abby. Brad Holder's first alibi, for example, would allow him to be in Delphi no later than 2:30, perhaps earlier, while Elvis Fields and others abducted the victims and held them awaiting Holder. 32. In 2018, law enforcement pulled Elvis Fields in for questioning to the Rushville Police Department, and at the end of the interview took Elvis's DNA and then explained to Elvis their reason for taking his DNA. 33. At the conclusion of the interview, Trooper Kevin Murphy drove Elvis back to his home. 34. After Trooper Murphy dropped Elvis off at Elvis's home, Elvis walked towards his home and then turned around and approached Kevin Murphy's car. After getting close to Trooper Murphy's vehicle, Elvis asked Trooper Murphy, quote, if my spit was found on the girls, but I have an explanation for it, would I still be in trouble? I wanted to share this with you guys real quick. This is from another document, and it reads, Unified Command was aware that Elvis Fields confessed to his sister that he, Elvis, was involved in the unalivings, even providing to his sister intimate crime scene details of which only those present at the crime scene would have familiarity. Additionally, Elvis Fields told his sister Mary on February 14, 2017, that he was present at the unalivings and that he, Elvis, now had a brother and was now part of a gang. In February 2018, Elvis had been questioned by law enforcement but denied involvement in the unalivings. However, after being dropped off at his trailer following questions, Elvis turned around and walked back to the police car, according to the police report, and asked the state trooper if his, quote, Elvis's spit is found on the girls, but he
could explain it away, would he still be in trouble? The state trooper that heard Elvis utter these words, Kevin Murphy, was not part of the Unified Command, but immediately relayed Elvis's disturbing question to Jay Harper of Unified Command. Elvis also admitted to a different sister, Joyce, that he had in fact spit on one of the girls. Elvis told Joyce that he, Elvis, was on a trail and a bridge with 2 girls that were unalive and that he was going away for a long time.
So the person that I keep throwing, the Elvis Fields guy, I put his picture up. I tried to when I mentioned his name in this document. Elvis Fields said his spit could possibly be on the girls. Elvis Fields is really good friends with Brad Holder, and he's stating that, now I have a brother, now I'm part of a gang, and it goes back to the Odinist thing. They believe they offered a sacrifice, so therefore they're eternally brothers, and they are in a gang now, or an Odinist cult, and that involves Patrick Westfall. The person I'm also advertising in this video, or where I got the pictures from, Criminal Network, has a lot of information on this. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this. I can connect some of the dots, but it is conspiratorial in some aspects. This is an actual document filed by Richard Allen's defense that I'm reading. And I'm just trying to basically give you more information right now on Brad Holder, but it involves Elvis Fields. 35. DNA analysis. Stacy Bozinski testified at the end of her cross-examination on October 28, 2024, that a person's spit can be analyzed for DNA. 36. Additionally, evidence exists that supports that Elvis Fields was mimicking Brad Holder, and it says in parentheses, who lived 125 plus miles away and should have no ties to Elvis Fields' Facebook post, or that Brad Holder was mimicking Elvis Fields' Facebook post months before the victims were abducted. 37. Elvis Fields has claimed under oath that Brad Holder was actually mimicking Facebook posts that Elvis Fields had posted. 38. Brad Holder's son, Logan, was dating Abby Williams, and Brad Holder had evidence that exhibited Holder's... Hold on. I didn't get it. I'm going to show you this part, and we'll continue on with another video. This is the picture that Brad Holder was actually mimicking Facebook posts that Elvis Fields had posted. 38. Brad Holder's son, Logan, was dating... That's Logan, and that's Abby. And then there's a sketch. This sketch is from, there was a witness that said she saw a young man standing down by the mailbox for the private drive where the girls would be later found. He was standing at that mailbox at about 8:30 in the morning. This is the sketch of the boy standing at that mailbox, okay? That's the boy that was dating Abby. This is his father, Brad Holder, and that's a screenshot from the video we just saw about the hats. And then you just saw the comparison of him standing beside Bridge Guy. You heard his voice, and we were talking about how his voice sounds a lot alike. So they're saying, basically, the theory is if Brad Holder did it, it's because of the Odinist cult thing him and Elvis were doing together. And he got his son to lure Abby and Libby there because he used to date Abby, and it would be easy targets to basically sacrifice. Sorry that I didn't give a trigger warning about that, but that's that theory with the Brad Holder case. If you want to watch that video, it's horribly edited, but it is titled, "This is a motion to enter pertinent evidence." This motion was filed on October 30th, 2024 by defense, and that's on my page. Now we'll go back to the playlist. Oh, thank you, Bazard. Yeah, please hit the like and subscribe if y'all don't mind. I appreciate it. It helps us get out into the algorithm. All right, so now we'll watch a couple more videos since we've compared the voice and kind of broke down who some of these people are. I think Benny Politan said something about it. Let's see what we got. I'm going to play this voice comparison to Richard Allen real quick one more time.
September
and we'll
23rd,
go on.
2018. Richard Allen's voice can be heard making a rare appearance in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, riding the skylift with his wife.
Down we going down. Shut up.
Damn it. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Oh my gosh. My page just went crazy. Why is that person there? What the crap was that? My computer went crazy. Try this again.
Allen's voice can be heard making a rare appearance in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, riding the skylift with his wife.
Down, we're going down.
Okay, I want to save that right there. Oh, she's live right now. This again is Chasing True Crime. I'm going to skip it to the end where we hear him talk and compare him to Richard Allen again. Just one more time, and then we'll move on. I'm not understanding why we needed AI to enhance that, though. That's another thing I'm not understanding.
See, this is the path that we go down.
No, we don't, Angela.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Shut up.
That's sounds a lot alike to me.
We're down. Shut up.
Y'all, I don't know. It sounds a lot alike to me. He also sounds like Brad Holder. I don't hear the raspiness in Richard Allen's voice like I do with Brad Holder. All right, let's move on. Angela, I don't know if the spit was ever found there or not, because, I mean, you would assume that Doug Carter and the sheriff's office looked into that, but with this case and how botched it was, I mean, you don't really know, you know? All right, so we'll see what Vinnie Paulison said about this, and then we'll talk about the sheriff and the judge. I do want you to know that Richard Allen has filed.
This is a big night, folks. A big night.
Thank you. Richard Allen has filed an appeal. I did put that on my Patreon. No, I haven't put that on my Patreon yet. I put up other documents.
Big night, folks. A big night. You know, I know.
I will put up the appeal that Richard Allen filed on my Patreon if you guys want to check that out. You could also find it online, I'm sure, if you don't want to use Patreon. Yeah, there's a lot with this case. All right, so we're going to see what Vinnie Paulison said about this video in this 12-minute clip.
We all have been invested in the Delphi case, and only a few people, for a short moment, got to see that video. Tonight, we're going to show it to you. But let's begin with the way this whole case has gone from the beginning in the state of Indiana. Like, no transparency whatsoever. Like, basically, what you're looking at is the level of transparency that the state of Indiana had in this investigation.
Yeah, and I mean, why not have more transparency? Why not give okay, I'll check my email. Why not give the jury all of the evidence so they can make an informed decision? Julie Ann Quinn, it's nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. Said, did one of them say it's his dad, or is it his dad? I don't remember that, but it has been suspected that Brad Holder was guilty of this. That's why we had the voice comparisons and the picture comparisons of him to Bridge Guy for a while. A lot of people have suspected that Brad Holder could be Bridge Guy. Cara said, I really hope he gets retried just because there's so much bullshit. And I honestly am not sure that justice for Libby and Abby was served. Right. That's a big thing for me. Hey, Cracker Jacks, because a lot of people feel upset with me because I'm like, you know, I don't think Richard Allen did this. And at the end of the day, if we're not 100% sure in our conviction of Richard Allen or that he is the one that did it, if we're wrong, then somebody's still out there, and that's not justice for Libby and Abby. I want Abby and Libby to get justice at the end of the day, and therefore I want whoever did this to go down for it. They need to go down for what they did to these two innocent children. Now I don't know, like I said, like I've told y'all today, I never would have thought I would say this, but after hearing that video, I'm questioning Richard Allen a lot more than I was.
Limiting
on the video when the phone looks down is when you heard it. Okay, I'm going to play this and then I'll play it again.
What the public knew when the case was unsolved. And then when they said they did solve it, it was with information that they had right out of the box. So there were problems with the investigation and the communication in this case. And then when it came time for the court case, obviously, no cameras. We don't want you to see it. We don't want you to hear any of the evidence in this case. And since the case has been over, everything still has been sort of tied up with a bow. Most states, the trial's over, the defendant's been sentenced, some of the evidence in the case becomes public. Not in this case. There's just been no transparency. And I think for Abby and Libby, they deserve better here, because the lack of transparency and the way the investigation was done, I think slowed down the case and slowed down the ability to attempt to hold someone responsible. That's number one. Number two, there are still questions. And those questions all exist because nobody saw or heard the case. And this is a case.
I appreciate the pictures. I'm not going to show them online, but if you do go to that video that I was just playing on my playlist where I'm talking about the document that was filed in the Richard Allen case, the one that I was saying was not edited, there is a comparison of how their bodies were laid out to ruins and things like that.
Where people, and there are other suspects, and the way the public has interpreted it, there's really no trust in what happened there because of all the strange circumstances, which again, come back to the transparency of investigators and then the court and the judge in this case. Now, Richard Allen was convicted. He was convicted beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury did not deliberate that long. They were convinced. Well, they saw the evidence. I didn't, you didn't, unless you were in Delphi for this. So what does that mean? Like, why was he convicted? Well, one of the biggest pieces of evidence in all of this was the video of the bridge guy. And a little piece of that video had been made public while there was still a search for a killer, and they're looking for the public's help. Well, now the bridge guy video has been released, and we are going to see it. Now, it's 43 seconds long. You have to listen very closely. You have to watch very closely. So let's get to it, and let's play that video for you right now.
See, this is the path that we are on. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
And that was it. You heard the down the hill at the end? It was kind of faint in the background.
Path, we can't go this way. There's no way to go that way. Hold on, I'll play it again. But he said guys down the hill. It didn't say dad. Or is that his dad? I didn't hear it. We'll play it one more time. Hold on. Let me make sure I get all of it.
See, this is the path that we are on. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
And that was it.
So there's no path down here. We have to go down the path. I didn't hear it. I'll play it one more time. I didn't hear it. Oh, I did hear a whisper, but I can't tell what it says. I'm going to try to get this video and do some editing and voice comparisons after the live today and see. Maybe I can, like, pull that sound out. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to see what I can do. Okay. I'll listen.
See, this is the path that we are.
Hold on.
See, this is the path.
I can't tell what it is.
There's no path going there, so we have to get down here.
They seemed excited in that moment, like maybe they were meeting somebody that they thought was somebody else. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm going to try to work on it after today's live and see what I can figure out.
And that was it. You heard the down the hill at the end. It was kind of faint in the background. I heard it. There were also some whispers by Abby and Libby. And it seemed that they were not necessarily scared, but maybe very aware of this man on the bridge and probably a little concerned, but then they don't run away. They're looking for a path, and then he is there. Let's get some more insight. Joining us tonight, Court TV senior producer Barbara McDonald, who was at Richard Allen's trial, has covered this case from day one. Barbara,
it sounded like it said, "Is he behind me?" And then one of them said, "Yeah." Something is off with the timing of the video, it seems. Bad girl. I agree.
All of us get to see this video. I want to go through it piece by piece. In the beginning, I hear a whisper, and it sounds like it could be coming from Abby. Did you hear a whisper? And if so, what did you hear in the beginning of that video?
I've seen this video now maybe 10 times, and what I there is he right there, something like that. One of the things the state said that one of the girls says very clearly in the video is that be a gun. And I don't hear either girl say that in this video. We also, Vinny, don't know which version of the video this is. There was the original extracted version from Libby's phone, but then there were multiple versions that were enhanced. Some were stabilized. My understanding is initially the video might have been upside down. So we don't know if this is that original file. This was put out by the defense on a website that they're saying they're going to start putting this information out for transparency in this case. Richard Allen's appellate attorneys indicated today they are filing that appeal. They filed their notice. So this is likely all gearing up for that effort.
And, you know, as I watched the video, I'm wondering why it wasn't released in total from the beginning. I don't understand why, other than they have the ability, I guess, to not release it. So it seems that, yeah, there is an acknowledgement that he is there. I want to put a still frame up on the screen, which is from the video, which gives us some idea of the distance between Abby and the bridge guy. And when we take a look at that, I think we'll have a better idea of where everyone is. But it seems like they are relatively close to one another on that bridge. It's not, there's not a huge distance between the two, between Abby and the bridge guy that's right behind him.
Exactly. And that was a point that a lot of people picked up on at trial, because some of the people who viewed the video felt that he was much, much further behind Abby, and that there was perhaps an unattainable distance that he would have had to have made up to catch up to Abby. This video, from my perspective, shows that he is behind her some distance, but he's not really that far from her in this still photo that you can see. And you do notice in the video that Libby is already on the south side of the land. She is no longer on the bridge when she's recording this video. And then Abby manages to get off the bridge and sort of run past Libby and then stop there next to her. And they sort of wait for this man, telling him, you know, there's no path, so we would have to go down here. And they sort of wait for an answer and a direction from him. So it makes you really wonder what that interaction was between the three of them prior to this video being made.
Yeah, I want to play the little piece of the end of it now. And what we're going to do is we're going to boost the audio a little bit of the bridge guy. Let's take a look and a listen.
See, this is the path that we are on. There's no path going there, so we have to get down here.
So the interpretation.
I mean, that to me, it makes me, I mean, okay, if they had a previous conversation, was it because they were planning on meeting somebody? They're like, Anthony Shots offline, and he said, oh, he's down the hill or he's somewhere around here, and I'm going to tell you how to get there. And is that why they're like, we can't go down here? There's a path there or something. And that's if they had a previous conversation. But it seems to me like they're talking to each other and saying, we can't go down here. There's no path. And then he says, guys, and they say, hi, like that's the first interaction. And he says down the hills when he, what I'm assuming is shows them a firearm. I have a couple questions. Like, I don't know which one it is.
Of that back and forth when they're talking about the path, are you interpreting it that they're already acknowledged that the bridge guy is going to make them go down a path, or are Abby and Libby trying to figure out where a path is? Because what I don't hear the panic necessarily at that moment from them, although I hear something as she's running by, right?
Cara, thank you so much for gifting 10 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Those went to Mercedes, Raven, Jeanne Daughtry, Melissa Hart, Donnie, Iced Macchiato, Clover, Adrian, November Rain, and It's So Becky. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet of you. If you were gifted by Cara and you are aware you are gifted, please tell her thank you, and I'll grab the crazy train and come pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Cara. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to clean this up, and I'm going to try to make my own video where we're comparing voices and try to figure this out a little bit. Natasha said, it's not like they were asking him for guidance, in my opinion. I don't like the way they're spinning it. I don't either. It's not, yeah, I didn't get that from that. Because it sounded like when he said, guys, she turned around and said, hi, like it's the first interaction. And then he said down the hill, because I'm assuming he showed them a firearm in that moment and then said down the hill, but I don't know.
Abby runs by. That's when she says something.
Well, and then when he says guys, some people say that she responds hi. I don't think she's saying hi. I think that's more of a, like being startled by him. She seems, to me, Abby in this video seems more concerned. Libby, we don't see her face. Her voice sounds very calm, but you know, her family has also described her as somebody who would stay calm in a situation like that, and perhaps Abby might not have. You know, again, just the sadness of this video. This is the final minutes of these girls' lives. This is a story that I've certainly covered for 8 years. And yeah, it's sad to see this. It's sad to see this video.
So I think there's two ways to interpret the video. And originally, you know, this is the first time I'm seeing it, right? Tonight is the first time I'm
oh my goodness.
seeing this video. But I always wondered, was the video to take a picture of my
Bad
friend.
girl, thank you so much for the support. That was so very sweet and amazing of you. Thank you so very much. Bad girl said, keep fighting the good fight and know that we've got your back, darling. Thank you for all your hard work. Oh, thank you. You guys are amazing. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet of you. You guys make it amazing. I'm just here. I'm here. You guys help me out a lot. I wouldn't be anything without all of you guys. Thank you. That was so very sweet. Thank you so much. Wow, that was so sweet. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Crossing the bridge, and she looks like she's gingerly crossing it. I mean, it's a very treacherous bridge. I would never walk over it myself. It's old, it's crickety, there's slats. You can see they redid it here, but when you look at the original bridge, I mean, that was not something that I would walk over myself. And I was wondering if the purpose of the video was to capture the moment of her, Abby, crossing the bridge. And I was wondering if that's why they were separated, so one could take a picture of the other. But now I'm almost getting a different flavor for it, that maybe it was because of this man who was following them.
And I believe there was some sort of an interaction, some conversation that had these girls concerned that, perhaps he said something to them like, you're not supposed to be here and I'll show you how to get away to where you can be. We just don't know. None of that came out in Richard Allen's trial, any interaction prior to this video. And the state's case at trial was that if they can prove that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy, then they can prove that Richard Allen killed these two girls. And that's what the jury believed, is that that video shows Richard Allen.
Yeah, I was wondering if the voice was the Bridge Guy. I'm 1,000% convinced that it's the Bridge Guy just because of the proximity and everything else. But now the question is, if there's a successful appeal, what happens then? But just seeing this at least gives us some idea of what Abby and Libby confronted in that moment by the bridge. Barbara McDonald, Court TV senior producer, working overtime for us again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with everything they said, but I find it interesting. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the sheriff and the judge. First, we have what some people are calling answers. I don't know that it's definitively an answer to our questions that we've had as to why did the Sheriff Mickey Steins, Sean Mickey Steins, shoot Judge Kevin Mullins. I'm going to pull up this other document. Actually, let me just close out of YouTube for a minute and then we'll watch some videos where they break down this document. And it's basically telling us that Steins is going to plead insanity. I don't know that that answers my questions, though. So if you want this document, I did get this one and two other documents in the Stearns case, 2 court documents uploaded. We're going to go over I think we're going to go over another one of the Stearns documents tomorrow. One of those and a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about in Madeline Soto case. But I'm going to read this document to you. It's only a couple of pages. This is the Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Sean Mickey Steins. It's a notice pursuant to RCR 8.07 support for participation of defense expert in any state requested examination. And it reads, oh my gosh, I don't know why it has to be like that. Comes now the defendant, Sean Mickey Steins, by and through counsel, and hereby states as follows. A. Notice pursuant to RCR 807. 1. Defendant intends to present expert evidence relating to a mental disease or defect or mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt and punishment. Number 2, defendant intends to present a defense of insanity as well as a defense of extreme emotional disturbance. 3, the undersigned counsel does not raise the issue of competency to stand trial. What is the defense of insanity and extreme emotional disturbance? Now, we know that he stated they're trying to kidnap my wife and child. Why did he think that? What was going on to make him think that? And the insanity thing, if you think about the body cam footage that we have, where he is riding to the court talking about, oh, you guys don't roll me up in the windows, don't kill me, where are you taking me, where are we going, don't be handing me off. He seems really, really paranoid. And that's I'm wondering if he planned this out, because remember, he's a sheriff, right? So I'm wondering if he was like, I'm gonna go kill this mother trucker and then I'm gonna plead insanity. Like, I'm wondering if it was planned or if it's the actual thing. And what is the extreme emotional disturbance? So it tells us B, support for attendance of expert. 4, in the event that the Commonwealth elects to request an examination under RCR 807, the defendant is entitled to the participation of its expert in the Commonwealth's examination. This is not only permissible, but mandatory upon request. Number 5, it gives a statute and provides that, quote, an examiner retained by the defendant shall be permitted to participate in any examination under this chapter, unquote. Number 6, that statute governs examinations for both incompetency to stand trial and insanity. Number 7, in McCracken County Fiscal Court versus Graves, the Kentucky Supreme addressed the mandatory nature of this statutory right in finding that costs associated with the defense expert's attendance during the state examination were reasonable. 8, McCracken Court held, in view of the statute, we believe that whether a defendant avails himself of this opportunity is strictly a matter of legal strategy to be decided by the defendant and his counsel. It is not a question for the defense expert to decide, nor is it a question for the trial court. The statute not only permits the defense expert to be present, but it mandates that the court's presence be allowed. In this case, Dr. Johnson was present at the defendant's interview with Dr. Skelton as provided by the statute. Evidently, the legislator envisioned circumstances in which a defense expert's presence at an interview with an opposing expert is important enough to provide for the law. We are unwilling to uphold the trial judge's ruling that the defendant's availing himself of what the law provides in his interest is not a necessary expense. Wherefore, defendant respectfully submits the foregoing notice and support for attendance of expert pursuant to the statute as well as the order of this honorable court. And I want us to notice they have underlined and put in bold, statute not only permits the defense expert to be present, but it mandates that the expert's presence be allowed. Evidently, the legislator envisioned circumstances in which a defense expert's presence at an interview with an opposing expert is important enough to provide for the law. And that's about all of that document. So what we found out that was most important from this is that he's pleading insanity and extreme emotional disturbance. But what is the extreme emotional disturbance? What happened? Why? I think the kidnap my wife and daughter thing and the freaking out going to the to jail was to back up his insanity defense. I think he realized what he done and then figured out and how much shit he was in. And so, of course, he's going to plead insanity. I don't think that's genuine. I think he was doing that so that he could have an easier way to plead insanity by his actions at the time. We're going to play a video that's going to go over this document. Hey, Norma. And we're going to see what they have to say, what the quote unquote media experts have to say about it. So this is titled Major Update and Judge Killed in Chambers Sex Scandal Case from Law and Crime.
In his chambers, I look at what this means with his lawyers and trace Steins' steps in the hours before he killed his longtime friend.
So, okay. I was trying to give it a second to load. So we're going to watch this breakdown and see what they have to say and see if it answers any of those questions, because I'm still really confused and I still don't quite understand.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. When Mickey Steins shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers, it was absolutely unbelievable. This was the top cop in Letcher County, Kentucky, firing a gun at a sitting judge in his chambers, and it was all recorded by a surveillance camera. And so was much of Steins's and Mullins' day before the shooting, which I'm going to show you here in just a bit. Not only was Kevin Mullins a judge, he was Mickey Steins's one-time boss and longtime friend, but it seemed like something changed in a matter of minutes, maybe even seconds. The sheriff may have snapped. At least that's what the latest filing from his lawyers would suggest. Steins is charged with murdering Kevin Mullins. His lawyer, Jeremy Bartley, filed a notice stating, defendant intends to present expert evidence relating to a mental disease or defect or mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt and punishment.
Jennifer said, I think many people do and can sound like Bridge Guy, like an older man. The times and stress and seriousness and voices changes too. Can't wait to see interrogation videos with Richard Allen. Bridge Guy sounds like anyone. You think so? I'm gonna this is the last video that I have for today. So after today's live, I'm definitely gonna try to isolate some voice samples and compare it and put that out in like a short or a video myself.
Defendant intends to present a defense of insanity as well as a defense of extreme emotional disturbance. On top of this, Steins's lawyers are telling the court that they want their expert to be present when a state expert evaluates him. Steins's attorney, Jeremy Bartley, is going to be here shortly to explain all of this. This shooting happened last September 19th, and we're getting a look at Steins before he pulled the trigger through surveillance.
Fonnie, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet of you. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was so sweet. Thank you. Y'all are so sweet. I love our Speculating family. Y'all really are the best chat on YouTube. Y'all are so awesome. Thank you.
Surveillance cameras in and around the courthouse. That day seemed like any other in Letcher County. Judge Kevin Mullins was in his chambers around noon. Mickey Steins was sitting across from him in a chair, and there was a man to his left, and another man, a pastor, stood to Mullins' side. There's no audio, so we don't know what the men were discussing, but Mullins, at least, seemed relaxed. He was even smoking in his chambers. The group sat for several minutes, chatting away. It's probably something they had done many, many times over the years. Around 12:07 p.m., Steins walked out of the judge's chambers. Mullins says something and he stops, but then he keeps walking. Again, we don't know what was said, but the people in the room certainly know. From outside, you can see Mickey Steins walking away from the courthouse.
I've never seen this footage. That's interesting. I know you said that the judge looks like that guy from Killer Clowns. I saw the picture. Sending an olive branch, pulling a new leaf to keep for myself. Hope today is good for everyone. Yeah, yesterday chat got a little crazy, so I figured we'd take a break from Madeline, but I am going to try again tomorrow to discuss it. But I am going to say again that my mods, when they time people out or whatever they do, they're doing it on behalf of me. So even though I don't see it, they're right in what they do. I've never had them do something that was not that once I found out later why it was done, I've never had to say you shouldn't have done that. So I trust my mods completely. That's why they're my mods. And if they time somebody out or whatever, it's warranted in my opinion. So we're going to try again tomorrow and see how it goes. Mommy Ball said, I hear a big truck engine accelerating right as Abby is in frame in the video. The nearest road is over 500 feet away. It looks like a dirt road. No wonder other sounds don't fit. That's interesting.
It's 12:11 p.m. at this point. Another camera shows Steins walking back into the courthouse for just a moment. Then he turns around and walks back out. Mullins and Steins had lunch at a local restaurant. It was something they did often. They ordered the same thing they always did, and by all accounts, there was no tension at this lunch. By 1:16 p.m., Mickey Steins is walking back to the courthouse from lunch. If only we knew what he was thinking on that walk. By 1:30, Judge Mullins was back in his chambers, talking with some people for a little bit. Eventually, he's back on the bench. Judge Mullins presided over cases from about 1:45 to 2:35 that afternoon. Then around 3 p.m. that day, Mullins was in his chambers with Steins. What the men were discussing remains a mystery.
You know what stood out to me first and foremost is that he was smoking in his courtroom, or not in the courtroom, but in his chambers. And you're not allowed to smoke in government buildings. Like, that's a big no-no. So that again tells me that it's again like the good old boy system and backdoor stuff might have been going on. We might have timeout if Basil doesn't behave. Yeah, maybe. Carr said, honestly, the vast majority of people here in chat are amazing, and you all make this chat even better and easier to mod. Yes, you do. I love our chat, and I love our mods. Oh, y'all are so sweet.
Steins made a phone call first from his phone and then Judge Mullins's phone, and then Steins fired several shots at the man he once called a friend. You can see people in Mullins's chambers rush out after hearing the shots. They likely had no idea what was happening other than a gun had been fired. Troopers' dash cameras showed Steins being led to a cruiser in handcuffs after 4 p.m. that day, and Steins sounded paranoid.
Pick your leg up, my brother. Y'all got carbon monoxide in here. Oh. Come on now. Come on. I can't sit like this. I can't. Come on now. Be fair to me. We're being good to you, brother. You can stick your leg up in there. Come on now, guys. Please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. Please. You want to scoot on over a little bit to the left? Come on now. Try to scoot on over a little bit more. That way we don't hit you. Can you go a little bit farther? I just want to hit you with the door. Put your knee in there, my friend. Hey, Jason. Hey, Bates. Hey, Bates. Can we loosen this up a little or give the window down? I'm sorry? Can we loosen this up a little? Be fair to me, man. I got some air. I'll crack the window for you, but I can turn the air on back here. Okay? Yeah. Be fair to me now. I promise. Yeah, I promise. God, please. I promise. I'll tell you. It's hot back here, man. I can't breathe.
During the nearly hour drive to the Leslie County Jail, troopers tried to get Steins to talk to them.
Okay, Mickey. Anyway, so do you want to talk about it? Is this to do with anything with your family, your daughter, or anything? Bring it on in.
The world can be really unpredictable and scary, so having a great lawyer really matters, and that's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. The firm has more than 1,000 lawyers, and that's because they win a lot. In the last few, with an ankle bracelet for home incarceration in exchange for sex. .com/crimefix, or click the link in the description and pinned in the comments. We later found out that Steins had been deposed days before the shooting in a civil suit filed by a woman named Sabrina Atkins. She had been arrested in 2021.
You're fine, Fawny. You're fine. You're good, sweetheart. You're completely fine. You're welcome here anytime. I know there was rumors that there were pedo rings there, so I wonder if he knows what happened to people who leaves the ring. I don't know. That's a good question.
On a drug charge, and a deputy named Ben Fields told her he'd help her with an ankle bracelet for home incarceration in exchange for sex. Atkins said she and Fields had sex in Judge Mullins's chambers 6 times, and she told investigators with the Kentucky Attorney General's office it wasn't just Fields having sex in the judge's office.
But he does have some videotapes of some stuff in the judge's chambers.
What kind of stuff?
Just with girls, sexual and stuff.
What describe? Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, and just him having sex with girls for their bail to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups up there.
Who?
The judge and.
You saw the video.
Yeah.
What did you see on the video? I mean, you.
I mean, I've seen Judge Mullins have sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from over there.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was the judge's chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
But you don't know who the girl was?
So Sabrina Atkins had told investigators she saw a video of Judge Mullins having sex with a girl in his chambers. Last fall, Kentucky State Police investigator Clayton Stamper testified at a preliminary hearing for Mickey Steins that Steins was concerned for his wife and daughter after the shooting.
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, treat me fair. That's basically the comments he made.
Okay. Did he also make a statement about, I didn't see it in the citation here, but somewhere along the line I saw.
So I am remembering everything that she said, and I'm also remembering that supposedly he had a fight with his wife the night before, Sheriff Steins did, and she supposedly kicked him out. And that's why he was dressed in clothes that weren't supposed to be what he was wearing, I think, from what I understand. Orange Rose said, it's interesting to me how so many people in custody have demands for comfort, disregarding any harm they have caused to someone else. That's a good point.
The statement being attributed to him about protecting his family.
I wasn't present, but when he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid.
So something is definitely going on in Letcher County, Kentucky. It's a small town with a lot of big secrets. I want to bring in Jeremy Bartley. He represents Mickey Steins in this case. So Jeremy, we kind of anticipated this. So tell me what you filed. You guys are going to claim that at the time that Mickey Steins shot Judge Mullins, which is not in question, it's on video. He was
this is Mickey Steins' lawyer right here that we're going to hear from right now.
Insane.
Well, the statutes require that if we intend to introduce mental health as a defense, whether in whole or in part, that we file notice. And normally this is something we would do later in the proceedings. As you know, we don't even have a trial date yet. But, our hope is to expedite. The state will get their opportunity to have our client examined. So we want to expedite those proceedings. I mean, you're looking at an 18-month or more backlog to get folks examined at the state facility. So normally we would wait much later, but we went ahead and filed that notice in the hopes to get that moving along.
You said specifically in your filing that you're not saying he's not competent. That's not the question here. And you had said that in an earlier hearing as well. This is specifically, you want him examined. You want your expert to be a part of it when the state does examine him.
Angela said, what was a firearm doing in Chambers? Well, in this courthouse, the sheriff's office is in the same building, and he had his service weapon. And I do believe that's what was used in the homicide.
But you're saying basically, look, there was something going on with Mickey Steins when this happened. And that's why he stood there and just matter-of-factly pulled out his gun and shot Judge Mullins. So do you have any idea, given the fact that you're saying he's not incompetent, do you have any idea about what may have been going on? We know about the deposition in the lawsuit regarding the sex with the inmates in the courthouse. What else have you been able to glean, if anything, that you can share with us?
Well, so in terms of what the specific mechanism or diagnosis is at the time, I'm going to defer questions on that. But I will say this. There was no doubt to anyone that was around Mickey in the days following the deposition, prior to the deposition, and certainly after the deposition and the days leading up to what you saw in the video, that he had not slept, rarely, if any, had not slept in days, that his demeanor was completely off. people described him as paranoid and just not acting in accordance with his normal demeanor. Now, again, I don't want to get into specifics.
But he had just been questioned about his deputy having relations with them girls in the judge's chambers a couple of days before all of this happened. Hey, Toxic, good to see you.
The statute requires that there be a mental disease or illness or defect. I'm not going to get into that now. I'll wait until we hear more from the experts. But I'll just say this: there's zero doubt that the combination of his mental health, which was exacerbated by the pressure put on him because of this deposition, played a role in what we saw. And within that mental health defense, you really have two things. One, which I've said from the beginning for the preliminary hearing, we think sets the ceiling for the Commonwealth, is extreme emotional disturbance, right? Because that's a partial defense. And that goes to, at the moment he acted, did his emotions become so enraged, disturbed, or inflamed that he acted almost, basically out of control. I think it's evident that something happened within those chambers, and we'll get into more of that as the case progresses. But there was a moment at which his emotions, in a worst case for our client, it's extreme emotional disturbance, which would get us to manslaughter. But we believe that there's more, and we believe that that we will put on evidence that he was unable to conform his conduct based upon some mental health issues that were going on during that week.
So you touched on this, and I know we've talked about this before as well, that he felt an imminent threat. You said something happened in those chambers. We've obtained video that shows Mickey Steins. We've kind of retraced his steps that whole day, walking away from the courthouse, walking to lunch, walking back in. Judge Mullins is on his bench. We see that. And then whatever happens. I mean, there's no audio, unfortunately. We don't know what was stated. Have you been able to learn what was stated? You said we'll get into that at trial, but
I'll play the Polar Express real quick. I hope that made her happy, Toxic. Just be careful, because I don't know what they're going to talk about, okay? I don't know how child appropriate it will be. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad that she's happy and had a good day at school.
do you know what Judge has Mickey Steins told you what Judge Mullins said that made him feel threatened?
Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to
You're
get
welcome.
into what my client has told me. I will tell you that when Mickey entered the judge's chambers, he had there was no doubt in his mind that his wife and his daughter had been threatened. And based upon what transpired in those chambers, he believed that threat was in motion.
And immediate.
And so,
I'm assuming, because you had said we're an imminent threat.
yeah, no, he felt that his wife and daughter had been taken. And, I think that, there's a lot out there that touches on.
He felt that his daughter and wife had been taken. He said past tense, like in that moment they had been taken. taken by the judge who was having relations with the wife, or taken kidnapped? What do we mean? That's an interesting statement.
What was actually going on behind the scenes. We look at the Benfield's deposition, the deputy that was convicted of having coercive sex with someone who was on probation and or on an ankle monitor at the time in the judge's chambers. We've got a video. I mean, if we take a step back here, we're talking about a live feed in the judge's office. That's unheard of. I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I can speak for Kentucky. I've been in a lot of judges' chambers. I've seen a lot of cameras, but I've never seen one that was a live feed, basically a security camera. My understanding, that camera went up after this prosecution of Benfield's in the civil suit. So we know in those chambers there was things going on that shouldn't have been going on.
Right.
And we believe that there were folks that didn't want it being told in this deposition what was going on in there before they put cameras up. And I believe that there is a history that would show us that there is a reasonable belief that that he was in danger, his family was in danger, depending on what he said in this deposition. Now, again, we think that was exacerbated by his mental health, or conversely, these threats impacted his mental health. But the bottom line is that.
So they're saying there was definite threats, but they might have been, exaggerated because he wasn't in the right state of mind. So either he thought shit was happening that wasn't really happening, or he was already messed up in the head and then he's got these threats going on. So it went way out of hand real quick, I'm thinking. Toxic said, I think he thought his daughter was being lured in by this. Apparently the judge was doing hanky-panky too. Maybe. Oh yeah, the feds were involved in this, Gray Moon. And that's, I'm thinking there's a lot of backdoor deals, good old boy system thing going on, and there's literal skeletons in the closet out there that the judge and the sheriff know about, and now the feds are involved because of this deposition that happened a couple of days before the sheriff got shot. And I think it might have became either one of us has got to die because the other, so that nobody finds out what happened. And I'm thinking the sheriff took it into his own hands and said, I'm going to make that decision here today, and possibly did it.
That Mickey felt that there was a threat to his wife and daughter and that it was imminent.
We know that Sabrina Atkins had told the Attorney General's office in Kentucky sometime before this that she was aware of a videotape of Judge Mullins having sex with somebody.
I've read that, yes, and I heard it.
We have the audio of her being interviewed by investigators. Sure. So have you, through your investigation of this case, been able to uncover any more information about that?
Yes.
He said yes. Hunter's Moon said those damn skeletons always sneak out the door. Don't they though, Hunter's Moon? Fawny said the reason why more women are getting popped for crimes usually associated with only men exploiting their addictions. Yeah. I think those girls were definitely abused. Hey Carolina, it's good to see you.
But I'm not going to comment on what that is. I'm not here. This is not the time and place. I've been very deliberate in not disparaging the judge. I'm not going to do that at this point. I will say though that we're pretty confident that there were matters that could have been revealed in the deposition that people didn't want told.
Sure. And obviously, we don't want to disparage Judge Mullins, but this is a key question in the case, and what Mickey Steins knew and when, and what have you. So you filed the notice. He's going to plead insanity. What happens
Well,
next?
he
I know
may.
he has to be evaluated. So what's next? You said there's a backlog of 18 months for him to be evaluated by the state. So where do we go from here?
Yeah. So I'll take a step back. So the notice says that we may rely on that defense. We've given notice that we very well may introduce insanity as a defense, and I think that we very well may. But what you have to understand is in putting on this particular defense, it's going to be vital to know what was going on around Mickey to understand why it was reasonable or unreasonable to believe that his family was threatened. And so, there's a lot more to this than, to say that we're going to rely on the insanity defense, yes. But, along with telling the story of his mental health, there's a lot of surrounding story that's inextricably intertwined with it that we'll have to tell and as part of his defense. But in terms of procedurally, we've given notice and we believe that if the state, they've not responded saying they want to have him examined in writing. It's my understanding they do. They will, I'm sure. But once they do that and the judge orders him to be evaluated, then at that point, it's up to the state facility and their experts as to when they conduct the testing that they see fit. As I've said in my filing, I think the statute's pretty clear that our expert gets to participate.
Jeremy Bartley, as always, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming back on.
And Jeanette, it's always good talking with you. Thanks for having me on. And hopefully we'll talk more as this case goes along.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to close that out there. So I don't know that any more of my questions were answered. I mean, he's going to plead insanity. I think we pretty much knew that. Gray Moon said, just like they say about common sense not being common, I feel the same about people lacking integrity and authenticity, especially those in powerful roles. I agree. I literally have a real skeleton in my basement. Yes, a real one. It's an ancient medical teaching tool that someone was selling at a flea market. I felt sorry for it. We'll have it buried someday. Oh, wow. That's really interesting, Abellas. Yeah, that thing needs to be laid to rest. Oh, I was like, what in the world? Norma agreed and said exactly. That's all I have for today. I do have something really interesting for us to talk about with the Madeline Soto information that has been released. I am going to release a short, the last short that I have, a little 1-minute clip about Jennifer Soto referencing Stefan as Madeline's stepdad. And so I'm going to get that out. I'm going to work on comparing the voices between Bridge Guy and all of the key players that we have looked at today. I do appreciate that y'all being here with me today. I really enjoyed spending our time together. I appreciate that the live was not crazy today and that it was a lot easier to maintain and keep a hold of. Toxic said the secrets that skeleton can tell you. No doubt. Please remember Abby, Libby, and Maddie, and all of the other children in your thoughts and prayers tonight. Thank you guys again so much for being here, so much for the support. I love our chat. I love our mods. We have the best chat on YouTube. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. I would be nothing without all of you. You are all so very special. You are important and you are loved. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know.